Hello. We're here in Manila with the great legendary champion Manny Pacquiao, Sean Gibbons, and Manny is announcing.
It was like when I was growing up, he was always a fighter I was studying. I was always like watching. He was always like one of my favorites. It was so like just so technical. Even when he was in danger. Like.
Following Manny Pacquiao's election loss, he officially announced his ring return against Mario Barrios, and the pair had their first official face-off. As much as this fight seems nothing more than an intense exhibition fight to many fans, the face-off carried the atmosphere of two hungry fighters. There's just no way the Manny Pacquiao that appeared during the face-off looked in any way like an aged fighter. His aura and demeanor were still as commanding as the day he started boxing. Manny Pacquiao is probably boiling with pains and agony of his defeat during the Philippine senatorial election. And there's the necessity of not losing in his favorite spot, the boxing ring, even if the loss comes from the ballot box. He may not be a political hero, but he can always bask on his boxing legacy and make a major leap against Mario Barrios.
When you see the Manny Pacquiao fight, what can you learn from that fight?
It showed that combination punchers. That's how Pacquiao was landing. His punches, combinations, and it just showed that he is a great fighter. But I'm going into this camp, coming into this fight confident, everything right with our game plan, and I'm going to try to execute it as best as I can.
His opponent, on the other hand, knows what Manny Pacquiao is capable of. As a fighter in his 40s, he handed Keith Thurman his first career defeat to become the oldest ever world champion in the welterweight division. Hence, Barrios is well aware that there's absolutely nothing Manny Pacquiao can't do when we talk about the boxing ring. His loss in the Philippines senatorial election has nothing on him. The younger fighter carried the zeal and determination as one searching earnestly for his first world title as he stared down at Manny Pacquiao. It's a big fight between a boxing legend and a boxing champion. A legend who's after the agenda of defying the odds of Father Time and prove to the boxing world that boxing hasn't returned him like many claimed.
Yeah, it's surprising. Obviously, I know Manny very well. He's a true competitor. He's a guy that if you put something in his head, and obviously to create more history, he's a guy that's going to give everything and try his best. That's what Manny. One thing I always learned with Manny is give 110% and try your best no matter what. So yeah, he's going to give it his all.
With their fight scheduled in July, a press conference was announced to hold in the coming weeks as the fighters get geared for an epic boxing match in the world's capital of boxing, Las Vegas. Ever since it was announced that boxing legend Manny Pacquiao would be coming out of retirement to return to the ring to fight reigning World Boxing Council welterweight champion Mario Barrios in the coming months, boxing fans and analysts alike have been questioning this decision and voicing their concern about the 46-year-old trying to make his comeback. It would be one thing if Pacquiao were coming out of retirement for another low-stakes exhibition bout, which is what he did against Rukia Ampo back in July 2024.
Again, you can't beat Father Time, but Father Time is hard, and it was very hard watching him fight Lucas, and you could see it. And then watching the exhibition he had with the Korean guy or the Japanese guy in last year, it was hard to watch. I know Manny, I know the man that I was sparring. I love that guy. So, but again, he's a legend, and he turns it on.
However, this time, he's fighting a world champion who is still in his prime and will do everything in his power to separate Pacquiao from consciousness. On May 15th, the Boxing Kingdom X account posted a video of Pacquiao training before this Barrios fight, captioning the post, "First footage of Manny Pacquiao training for his professional boxing comeback has been released."
gone before we start here. Pacquiao Barrios, Manny, former opponent of yours. A lot of reports he's going to fight Mario Barrios for the WBC title a number of years out of the ring. What do you make of it?
Well, one, I hope he doesn't get hurt. I think there's every chance he could do. Secondly, I think how has he got to a world title shot? Fifth in the world.
Fans are making their concern about this footage apparent in the comments. He got tired. First time I've ever seen him get fatigued hitting the bags, bad sign. But good luck to him, legend, one fan wrote. Another added, I hate to see him coming back. I hope he doesn't get hurt for real. A third fan replied by posting a gif of Pacquiao knocked out cold during one of his fights, as if forecasting that this would happen to him once again against Barrios.
Imagine if he was number 1 and 2 in the division and trained all your life to get there, and then Manny comes in after being retired 5 years or whatever it is, and goes into number 5 in the division. Boxing these days.
One fellow wrote, Manny Pacman should get his Hall of Fame and leave gracefully. I know there's no point being unnecessarily undefeated, but there's no point having too many people, especially young fighters who should honor you and show you respect, and suddenly you fight them and begin to lose to them all. Since it seems clear that Pacquiao is serious about this bout, fans can only hope and pray that he comes out healthy on the other side. The former 8-weight world champion is set to face World Boxing Council welterweight title holder Mario Barrios for the green and gold strap on July 19th, despite following a 4-year hiatus from the paid ranks. The last time he stepped foot in the professional ring, Pacquiao was beaten on points by Yordenis Ugas in August 2021.
And also, my legs is tight.
Yeah, we saw that you didn't use your legs as much, not as much footwork from you, and not as much head movement from you as well. Was it a matter of tightness? Was that the issue?
Yeah, my legs is so tight. That's why it's hard to move.
Do you think that's father time? 42 years old, still doing this, man, going the distance here against yes, look at this. This crowd is so pumped to be here. They came to see you. What do you
Since then, the 46-year-old has returned to action in a pair of exhibition bouts against Korean martial artist DKU and Japanese kickboxer Rukia Anpo. His dismal display against the latter led to calls for him to never fight again. However, the World Boxing Council have sanctioned him to compete for their version of the world title after recently entering him into the 147 pounds rankings at number 5. Pacquiao is 17 years older than Barrios, who is in his athletic prime at 29. Several members of the boxing fraternity have expressed concerns for Pacquiao's health heading into the fight, and those worries were only deepened by his recent training footage.
Pacquiao, why? What do you think? You think Barrios? Are you joking?
Pacquiao's hands still look fast in the 30-second clip of him hitting the bag, but his feet were lagging behind, as several supporters pointed out in the comment section. One ex-user posted, "Legs are gone." Another message, "Them legs ain't there, but that pop and quick twitch still is." A third added, "He got tired. First time I've ever seen him get fatigued hitting the bags, bad sign, but good luck to him, legend." A fourth commented, "We are about to witness a live murder of Manny. Sad times we are in the boxing community." Meanwhile, somebody else simply stated, "This is sad. Best days are behind him. If Pacquiao somehow manages to upset the apple cart and beat Barrios, then he will become the second oldest world champion of all time."
Joking or are you serious?
Pacquiao's like 50.
He's 46. But he's still Pacquiao.
Years off. No, he's not Pacquiao. I think Barrios.
You said Pacquiao.
Huh?
I think Pacquiao.
Bernard Hopkins currently holds the record at 49 years and 297 days old, although B-Hop was still actively competing in the sport at the time and remained fully committed to training until his retirement at 51. Pacquiao is a different case altogether. The Filipino legend has spent the last 4 years focusing on his political career and hasn't been living in the gym like he would have to at his senior age. But now, boxing great Manny Pacquiao is coming out of retirement to fight Mario Barrios for the World Boxing Council welterweight crown in July. Pacquiao's team made the announcement on Thursday, just hours after he conceded defeat in a bid for another seat in the Philippine Senate.
Manny Pacquiao will face Mario Barrios for the WBC 147-pound title this coming July 19th in Las Vegas. Manny Pacquiao is 46 years old and has officially been retired for 4 years now. And as much as it sucks to admit it, obviously this is no longer the same Pacquiao, and it's been evident not only from his last professional fight against Ugas, but also based on his most recent exhibition fight. Now, in theory, Pacquiao's power is still there, and I feel like it's always gonna be.
The former 8-division champion was unsuccessful in his bid for a second run as a senator, conceding the race Wednesday night. The 2025 Philippine election ended with Pacquiao well outside the top 12 slots to fill the available seats. He placed 18th overall with 10,208,499 votes as a representative of the Federal Party of the Philippines. The election results marked Pacquiao's second straight defeat in politics. The wildly popular figure from General Santos City previously ran for president, but finished a distant third during the 2022 Philippine election. As was always the case during his legendary boxing career, and even in his previous defeat in politics, Pacquiao went out as ever, the humble warrior.
Be there for the most part. However, without the speed and his reflexes, in which Pacquiao has heavily relied to pretty much all throughout his career, that said power is kinda useless if he can't really put that into execution. This move to have Pacquiao return for a championship fight after a 4-year layoff is also a slap to many WBC fighters in the rankings. Not to mention, shows that in boxing, rules will always be bent depending on who's involved.
From my heart, thank you very much, he stated via social media. Even though I was unsuccessful in running for the Senate, I am deeply grateful for every vote, prayer, and support. His comeback aligns with his scheduled induction into the International Boxing Hall of Fame in June, capping a storied sports legacy that continues to inspire millions of Filipino people, the press statement said. It was not clear if the fight at a Las Vegas venue to be decided is a one-off, or if 46-year-old Pacquiao is coming out of a 4-year retirement to box full-time. Asked to clarify, his communications officer Joey Hearn said the media should wait for Pacquiao's own press conference.
As of now, Mario Barrios is the WBC champion, so who is he mandated to fight next? Do you have made that decision yet?
Well, at this time, Mario Barrios is going to fight Manny Pacquiao in July. That's a tremendous fight. It was released, PBC. Manny Pacquiao first title was the flyweight WBC, and he wants to retire as WBC champion, so he's fighting in the welterweight division.
In the statement, Pacquiao promised to continue serving the country despite losing in the midterm elections. I may not have won in my run for the Senate, but I am totally grateful for each vote, each prayer and support, Pacquiao said in Filipino. He even thanked voters who did not choose him because you were part of the process to strengthen our democracy. He said he remains committed to serve the country. The fight continues. Service continues. For God, for the country, for each Filipino, he added.
Me for mentioning that fight, like Conor Benny's boots, you know, but he still hasn't had those wins yet. So, you know, I like to see great fighters just slowly fade out of the sport, but also at the same time, if they feel good, if they feel they can be competitive, and there's a lot of money to be made, I also get it.
Pacquiao previously served as a senator from 2016 to 22. He then made a bid for the presidency in the 2022 elections, but failed. In the midterm elections on Monday, Pacquiao vied for a second stint in the Senate, but finished 18th in voting when only the top 12 made it. He joins the Canastota, New York-based Hall of Fame next month as one of the most decorated boxers in history. A world champion in 8 divisions, from flyweight to super welterweight, he appeared to end a 26-year career in 2021 with a record of August 2nd, 62.
What do you want to say to them?
Well, I'm so thankful to the fans so coming here to watch to witness the fight live. I'm really appreciative of your effort to come here. Even despite of this pandemic, you have time to watch live the fight, and I'm sorry that we lost tonight, but you know, I did my best, and I apologize.
Barrios retained the World Boxing Council welterweight belt with a draw against Abel Ramos last November in Arlington, Texas. Despite having been retired from the sport of boxing for several years now, with word that Manny Pacquiao will be returning to the ring to take his chances against World Boxing Council welterweight champion Mario Barrios, the sanctioning body has officially re-entered Pacquiao into their rankings, slotting him in number 5 in the world. This is really only relevant because the World Boxing Council rules state that its champions can only defend its titles against qualified challengers. So, positioning Pacquiao as such is basically a necessary precursor for them sanctioning the Barrios fight.
147, kind of a weird spot right now. We're looking at Manny Pacquiao potentially facing Mario Barrios. What do you think of that fight?
Yeah, I think that, it's a very contentious subject. Like, people moaning about Manny Pacquiao. I think Manny Pacquiao is still good enough to beat most fighters in the top 20 at 147 pounds. He's clearly not the fighter that he once was. You're not going to be at that age. My problem is that he's been inactive for quite a long time. Like we were
Some might argue that such a move isn't really fair to active fighters who have now been pushed down the ratings, but that's just tough luck for them, because their names don't bring the World Boxing Council nearly as much money or notoriety as a living legend like Pacquiao. Even if he is 46 years old and without a win since 2019, Pacquiao will challenge Barrios for the WBC's World Welterweight title on July 19th in Las Vegas. Eddie Hearn has doubts over making a fight between Manny Pacquiao and Jaron "Boots" Ennis should the legendary Pacquiao return to the sport. There are strong reports that link Pacquiao to a fight with World Boxing Council welterweight title holder Mario Barrios in July.
Like we were talking about fighting him with Conor Benn maybe 6 months ago or a year, and every month or 3 months or 6 months that passes, you do become a lot older. So, I guess there's two questions. One is, should he be fighting again? And at the end of the day, if he's good enough to beat everybody outside of the top 20 in the world, then why not? But should he be fighting for the world title? I guess that's another question. In the commercial world of boxing, the answer is yeah, probably. In the ratings world and activity world, the answer.
The rumors surrounding this bout grew further when Pacquiao entered the WBC's welterweight rankings at number 5 this week. This has proven controversial, with Pacquiao having been inactive since losing his World Boxing Association title to Yordenis Ugas back in 2021, and not registering a win since beating Keith Thurman in 2019. All the same, he is now ranked high enough for a title shot. Only a fighter in the top 15 can fight for the full title. Hearn's Matchroom Boxing currently promotes Ennis, the Unified International Boxing Federation and World Boxing Association welterweight title holder, and is having problems securing a unification with World Boxing Organization title holder Brian Norman Jr.
The answer is probably not.
Do you think it's strange that he's coming off the couch and getting a title fight like that?
I think when you've achieved what he's achieved, you've always got the right to do things a little bit differently to others. And with all due respect, Barrios is not Boots, and Barrios is not Crawford. And that's why, we pushed the Conor Benn fight. Conor Benn, like, his best win is against Algieri or Van Heerden. So actually Pacquiao is a step up, and people were still complaining.
A reputable news source asked Hearn if he would try to make a unification between Pacquiao and Ennis should the 46-year-old Pacquiao defy Father Time and defeat Barrios. I mean, 1, he won't beat Barrios, Hearn said, and 2, I'm not going to stand here with my righteous hat on and say it's an absolute disgrace that Pacquiao's fighting, but I just can't believe you can just literally disappear from boxing for 5 years, be 46 years old, and be, I think shot is disrespectful, but by no means a fighter you were, and just phone up the governing body and go, stick me in at number 5, mate. It's like, at least put him in at 14, do you know what I mean? Why would you put him at 5? Why would you put him in at all?
Manny Pacquiao getting back in the ring again for a world title fight.
Well, obviously, it definitely has to do with money, 1. 2, I think Manny Pacquiao, I think his C game is a lot better than anybody, a lot of guys' A game, even with the age. But you have to take into account the last time he stepped foot in that ring, man, against Ugas. He didn't look good. He was outmatched by, a fighter, a younger fighter. Barrios is no slouch.
Hearn is not only doubtful over the ring-worn Pacquiao's chances against a younger, fresher man, but has also learned from previously trying to make a fight involving Pac-Man. 3 years ago, I think it was, Manny Pacquiao approached us about fighting Conor Benn, right? Hearn said. Ben's best win was probably Chris Algieri at the time, so it wasn't for a world title. We haven't really beaten an elite world-class fighter, and I mentioned that we were looking to do it, I think 2 years ago. I think they had a face-off. I got absolutely ridiculed. You're a disgrace for letting Pacquiao fight. He was 44 years old, but he's now 46, and he's fighting for a world title. It's the game.
Barrios is a young fighter, bigger fighter, knows how to, control distance very well, can punch a little bit. Like, he's no easy task for anybody in the welterweight division. And for Manny to come back after this long and to face a young guy like that is dangerous. And sometimes, these old legends, they got to get beat up several times before they call it quits.
A win over Barrios will see Pacquiao break his own record for welterweight and will become the second oldest boxer to win a title at any weight. Bernard Hopkins holds the latter mark when he defeated then IBF light heavyweight titleist Tavoris Cloud at age 48 in 2013. Hopkins also further unified the 175-pound titles at age 49 when he dethroned WBA title holder Bout Shumanov in 2014. What are your thoughts on this uneven matchup between Manny Pacquiao and Mario Barrios? Who do you predict as the winner? Let's know your thoughts in the comment section. And that's all for now. For the very best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications to get notified when we drop quality contents like this. Until next time, peace out.